Good evening and salutations, my Days of Our Lives fans. I'm going to be honest, this is one of those episodes that you can just summarize within a few minutes. Because not a lot happened. I mean, it wasn't a terrible episode, but let's get to it. So you got EJ that asked Nicole out on a date. And at first she kind of flounders around like, oh, I'm tired, I got, the place to myself. I want to sit there and sleep. And, EJ's like, come on, let's go out for drinks. So they start to go out for drinks. And eventually they meet up with Kayla and Steve. Now, Steve tells Kayla that, he got a job from Victor to get Kristen. If he gets Kristen, they'll let go Justin and Xander. But here's the thing though. Steve, it's not sitting well with him that his niece and Bonnie is going to be left behind. So Steve is like, alright, this is what I'm going to sit there and do. I'm going to get the information to Melinda. I'm going to give it to her on the condition that Bonnie and Gwen go free. Kayla's like, are you sure that's a good idea? Because, you're thinking about double-crossing Victor. And he's, as she put it, this is the guy that has actually invented revenge. Which I can believe because, well, he is pretty old. So, she's like, you sure that's a good idea? Plus tracking down Kristen. When people try to track down or go after Kristen, it doesn't really end well. So that's when they're talking. They see EJ and Nicole there. And that's when Steve gets the idea, you know what? There's a good chance that EJ could be in contact with Kristen. So, Kayla doesn't like this idea already. But she's like, you know what? I'm not going to let him do this alone. So she's like, alright, I'm going to sit there and help you and have a plan. So Kayla pretends to be drunk. Spills her drink on EJ. And EJ's already pissed off that they're just, because he's not there talking to Nicole about Rafe and just about, hey, let's just kind of explore us a little bit. We're both two divorcees, going through a rough patch. And, you know me, I know you, we've always had a good time. And I don't really see the problem with it. Nicole was apprehensive, but she's like, you know what, maybe another martini will, convince me to change my mind. So, they're hanging out talking, and that's when Kayla just walks on in. And she's acting all drunk and everything like that, and EJ... oh, man, again, EJ is one of those type of people that's like, you don't want to get on his bad side. He's already annoyed that they're over there, that they're over here, there, or whatever, just messing up his good time, He was like, yo, listen, I'm trying to, you just messing up my vibe. What the hell is wrong with you? Like, you hate me, pretty much. And so she spills the drink on him. He is pissed. He goes in the bathroom, and that's when Kayla and Steve was like, yo, listen, we need your help. Apparently he must have left his phone there. So... they asked Nicole, like, yo, listen, you got the letter, do you know where Kristen's at? She doesn't know. But he, takes the phone. Well, he does something with the phone. And I guess he didn't have time to really sit there and try to, decrypt it or whatever. So when EJ gets back, he just takes the phone. And Nicole covers for them. Because Kayla was like, yo, listen, you need to help us. Especially the way that Kristen kind of screwed you over. I guess there was one point where she had a Nicole mask, because apparently Nicole, she has this, this mask that just disguises them perfectly in their body type. Whatever, it's a soap opera. So, Kayla's like, yo, listen, I'm pretty sure you want revenge on Kristen, and you just said so yourself that you're tired of her always getting away with murder, so help us. And she agrees. Because EJ comes back, EJ is like, yo, what's going on? What y'all talking about? You talking about me? What y'all talking about? they leave, and they're outside and they get the phone or whatever. So now he feels that he's one step closer to try to find out where Kristen is. Not much happened with Chad and Abby. All they do is sit around and talk about Gwen, and it seems that Abigail is going to want to start to investigate Gwen. She was reading the paper, found out that she got in jail and for what she did, and she honestly, to tell you the truth, she's just not convinced that, because she heard from Jack that Jack was sitting there saying that Snyder was blackmailing Gwen over the fact that she used to be a sex worker. But, it just doesn't add up with Abby. Abby's like, yo, listen, she's done worser things. And he's forgiven her for it. So, being a sex worker seems kind of mild in compared to the stuff that, she's done. So, pretty much, she wants to sit there and investigate Gwen for her dad. Whatever Snyder really had over, sorry about the noise, they're still, working on, because I moved downstairs. So, they are remodeling everything from upstairs, which is always fun, because it's be 7:30 in the morning, and you hear them just banging. Especially on days when I have off, and I like to sit there and try to sleep in. Eventually, I do go back to sleep, but it's a little kind of jarring. So if you hear that, it's, yeah. Yeah, so Abby's like, listen, I don't buy the whole sex worker thing, and that's what Snyder had over her. Whatever it is, it must be really bad. That's gonna really separate Jack, really kind of, have Jack push away her. So whatever it is bad, and she's like, I gotta do something. Which she doesn't do anything that night. She just sits there and talks about how she's happy that she's home. So, alright, that's cool, whatever. You got Justin that got to sit there and see Bonnie for a little bit, because technically he's not disbarred, and he's technically still her lawyer. So you got in a little 5-minute conversation with her, just to sit there and, reassure her that, he's still committed to her. You got Jack that's sitting there talking to Gwen. Just more support, really. But what was interesting is that when Jack talked to Xander, Jack was like, listen, Gwen says she's going to turn herself in, she's going to be full transparent, and she's just going to be honest, and hopefully she can get you off. But Xander doesn't want her to do that because, well, he knows the minute that she goes public about what she did, that she's going to most likely want to lose Jack's love. So he decides to tell her not to do it. Like, yo, listen, you're not doing this. I'm not doing this. I'm not taking any deal. And, it's going to be the way it's going to be. Yeah, Bonnie, that was sitting there being supportive to Gwen while she was, in jail. She's sitting there crying and stuff. And, at first they were kind of sniping at each other, but, she was being supportive, trying to ask her, is she okay? And, Justice going to get her out of there. And towards the end of the episode, Bonnie does tell, it's weird, here's the thing, Bonnie tells Gwen that, there's a good chance that all 4 of us could sit there and get sprung out of, prison or whatever. And what I don't understand is Justin said the same thing. Justin said to Bonnie that there's a good chance that, they may go free or whatever, all 4 of them. But I'm like, Justin, why are you lying to her for? You damn well know that whatever deal that Victor has, it's just for the 2 of you. It's not for them. So why would you sit there and tell them that to give them some sort of false hope? And then what's going to wind up happening? Victor comes through and y'all leave, and it's just like, why'd you bother to sit there and tell her that? I mean, she's sitting there and, talking to Gwen, smiling and everything, talking about, oh, there's a good chance that we can all 4 get out of this whole thing. And I'm like, why would you do that for? I felt like I might have missed a little bit more, but to be honest, this episode was, well, really skippable. I mean, did you really need to watch a whole hour to sit there and watch Steve take EJ's phone so this way he can try to get a lead on Kristen? No, you could have just went to YouTube and just saw that clip. Nothing really happened in the whole jail scenes. I mean, there was one part where Jack was sitting there talking to Justin, you know, asking about Gwen and everything like that. And, you know, Justin was like, listen, even though, I don't exactly remember what he said, but he was pretty much just like, listen, you don't want to know. And to be honest, he didn't even really know what the real reason. Okay, so he knew that, you know, Gwen wasn't a sex worker, and that's not what Snyder really had over her. But he doesn't know exactly what it is that Snyder really did have over her. And the only thing he said to Jack was like, yo, just let it go. Okay, but you don't know. And granted, I felt like it was one of those things where it's like he didn't want to sit there and lie to him, but he couldn't tell him the whole truth even if he knew. So, like, I'm not gonna lie, that scene didn't really make a lot of sense to me. And like I said, this whole episode was skippable at best. I do feel like they are gonna start ramping it up in the future episodes. And apparently the original actress, the actress that played Kristen, was in the Beyond Salem miniseries. So hopefully they can sit there and get her back. That'll be interesting. I feel like it's one of those things where it's like Kristen has always managed to escape. Like she is like that 90s cartoon show Carmen Sandiego, where she just always finds a way to escape. I mean, it just so happens that the woman that looks just like her came to that jail at that right point in time, and, you know, Kristen was able to get the drop on her, pretended that she was EJ's mother, and just walked right on out. Seriously, at this point, I know that people would sit there and say, like, the cops at Port Charles are bad at their jobs, but I'm like, what? How did she even get in there? Susan, how did Susan even get in there to see Kristen in the first place? Like, you could just randomly go in and be like, oh, I know so-and-so, and you could just have a 5-minute chit-chat with them by themselves. I mean, what was it like? Were they sleeping at the desk? Like, how did that even happen? Anyway, the point is, I'm sure it's going to get interesting. You know, nice little adventure, Steve and Kayla trying to track down Kristen. That's going to be interesting. But this episode right now was kind of a baby step in this adventure that's going to be great. But as far as this episode, yeah, no, this whole episode was pretty much skippable. So if you didn't watch it, just either watch my review or, well, watch some clips from, Instagram. Watch some clips from YouTube, or just go on Facebook. I mean, I haven't really went on there in a while, but my friend says that they do have, you know, like a page or whatever, where they kind of give you, like, updates or whatever that's going on with characters, and people sit there in the comment section and talk about this stuff, so you can just pretty much ask them what was going on in this episode, and they'll probably just tell you the same thing, more or less. So, anyway, that's about it. If I missed anything, please write it down in the comment section below. You know, I say this in my GH reviews sometimes. I'm going to sit there and say it in this one. Whenever episodes like this happens, and I do a review on it, and the episode is kind of crap, it makes me feel like my review is crap. And I don't like to sit there and think my review is crap, but I'm working with crap material, so it's like... Anyway, with that being said, I'm going to go. I want to thank you for watching. Be safe. See you in the next video.